Hi everyone. Now my mic's on and is working. I've got a lot of sounds going on my system at the moment, so people will have to tell me if it's working, what they can hear, and stuff like that. So yeah, let me know what audio is like right now, if you could. Let's give. I seem fine. Okay. Can you hear the music of the game? That is quite an important thing. Is it loud enough? Is it too loud, too quiet compared to me? Because when I'm playing this, I just get louder and louder. So, just right. Okay, cool. Not expecting a huge amount of people for this one, but I don't care. Love this game. Absolutely love this game. Let's get rid of that. So, gonna have a little playthrough and stuff like that. I've just realised I can't actually see chat while I'm playing the game. So, I'm gonna have to load it all up on my phone. Unless... chat will... Oh, there we go. That should be fine. I can see it all on my phone instead, so you might get me looking down and stuff like that. I don't have a second monitor, so there we go. So that'll do. I think that'll do nicely. So okay, maybe it won't work because chat's appearing there, but it's not appearing for me here. If my wonderful, wonderful other half can grab me my tablet. Oh, it's miles ahead of me. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, I closed it. What did I do that for? Ah. Let's get this sorted. Chat. Hopefully this works. Helen for the win, definitely. Why isn't it coming up? Let me type something and see if that comes up. Pro streamer. There we go. Right, it is working. It is all linked. So, I'm intrigued to see it. Not managed to watch a YouTube video. Yeah, it's good. It's very good, and I'm not just saying that either. It is genuinely a fantastic game. I mean, this art style in itself, it's absolutely beautiful. The music's amazing. It all adds to it. They've put in sound effects as well, so that when you go and do certain things happen. So, like, if you're in a busy or crowded area, you'll hear people talking and stuff like that. You can't make out what they say. Be prepared for me to butcher the pronunciations or everything, because it's set in Poland. Because the stuff that they come across is actually based on a real thing that happened. So you have to bear with me there. I will listen to a lot. I will, if you want to do something, know about something, then just ask, and we can go from there. All right. But if you want me to do go with something in a specific direction, just tell me, and we can go from there as well. Steve is a big werewolf nerd. I really am. I love the thing. Absolutely love it. So, premonition. Start the chapter. So, in the game, you have your, up the top here, you have rage, willpower, and health. Quite self-explanatory, apart from rage. Rage is what a werewolf uses to be big and angry and kill things, which is what I like. So, can you read all of this yourselves? Let me know. Can you all read that? What's up there yourself? Or do you want me to read to you? Or something? No? You're illiterate. Well, we know that. It's clear enough to read for sure. Excellent. So, the game's about rage. Great. I'm always angry. I am always angry. I'm okay with anger when it's useful. Well, I prefer to think before I act. So, I've been thinking there are two extremes in this game. One is an incredibly angry and violent extreme, and one is the question everything, take the piss out of everything, and be more of a joker extreme. Which one are we going to aim for? Because I've played it a couple of times already, and I've hit middle ground both times. So I want to go to aim for an extreme this time. So which way are we going? What would you like me to do? Piss people off, or just take the piss out of them? Hulk smash. I'm always angry. Your rage is high. You're inspired warrior type. Well, yeah. Fuck the consequences. Brave. The woods are full of stars. They flicker. Come closer, run away. They want me to chase them to play hide and seek. I hunt, I observe. I hunt. Brave, inspiring, and analytical. Wow. Not so much the analytical type myself. I let out a howl, eager to run with them. I want everyone to know I'm there. One thing I noticed when I had my YouTube video on, I wasn't watching it, but it was just on, the review one, is that the main menu, the camera is actually panning, so everything is moving. So if you focus on certain points, apart from the floaty bits, everything is moving. It's great. It's so good. This happened. I should be reading it, really. In the darkness I feel tangled roots of stories keeping the forest alive, and I finally catch the scent of the enemy. I jump forward. And then I wake up. So this is the thing. Cold and alone, confused I open my eyes. The forest around me is thick, dark, and reeks of decay, to such an extent that it's hard to breathe. The smell fascinates me. I recognise the forest. Why am I here? Let's go for the smell fascinates me. I didn't do that last time. The smell, both fascinating and repulsive, is everywhere. Memory stirs deep in my mind. Something elusive from my earliest childhood. That'd be when her mum dropped her into a swamp as a child. I tried to breathe. The fungi radiated with a ghoulish, sickly green light. Dark, sponge-like mushrooms cling to the fallen trees. I try to breathe. I'm cold. Something is rotten. Something is rotten. Can't shake the feeling that something died nearby. I look down and see my hands covered in a dark substance. I'm naked. A sickly, glistening film of liquid is clinging to my skin. I can feel it on my face and my hair, blood. I shout at the forest. Yeah, because, you know, sensible. What's happening? Yeah, let's shout at the forest. Because we're brave. So we shout at the trees. I shouldn't take the piss, really, because I do love this. Okay. The scream wakes something deep inside my chest, and then I see there's a severed head right in front of me. Some choices are hard to make, and they strain your willpower. Let's go for that, then. Ooh. The face is contorted, the eyes bulging, the mouth open as the head was still struggling for air. I pick it up without thinking, high in adrenaline, and the eyes open in the darkness. The enemy. Just lob it. Just lob it like a big thing that needs to be lobbed. The faceted eyes burn like small industrial furnaces. I look at them and something wakes inside my chest. Rage! Rage! Fucking rage! Yeet the enemy. Definitely. Always yeet the fucking enemy. What's the best werewolf tribe? That's down to the individual. In my eyes, it's the Red Talons. The Red Talons are... they hate humans. and they kill them and eat them whenever they can. They're not allowed to eat them, but they do, and stuff like that. So they're great. But their tribes cover a really broad spectrum of things. So, like me and Justin were chatting about, you've got werewolves that prefer technology, and like the city, you've got evil. But you've got evil werewolves as well, called the Shadow Lords, because they're a bunch of cunts. You've got homeless werewolves. They live on the streets. You've got like Viking werewolves. They get a Fenris. You've got You've got the nobility and the royalty of werewolves. The Silver Fangs. You've got the Native American werewolves. The Wendigo. You've got hippie werewolves like the Children of Gaia. These are all very, very basic descriptions of the tribes, but there's more. You've got like the stargazers who think like down into Asia and stuff like that, mystical like Buddhist monks and things like that, and things. So I'm only putting a very basic spin on it all. Maya, wake up. I jerked upright, irritated, my neck was stiff. I should turn off these notifications, really. I wasn't in the forest anymore, I was in a bus. The sun streaming through the windows was making it hard to see. The girl next to me was touching my shoulder, disturbed. Can we yeet her through a window? That would be awesome. No. There's no stumpy werecorgis, 1 from 10. There are, well, you get werecat. There are other were creatures out there. So you've got like were reptiles. You've got were bears, were cats. You've got were rats, crows, spiders. I love the were spiders, the Ananasi. Oh, so good, but terrifying to play. Yeah, there's loads, absolutely loads of them. Without saying that, I pushed her away. What's wrong with you? She recalled, looking hurt and scared. It was a while before she said anything. You were singing, I guess, in your sleep. I blinked. The memory of the dream was still there, and the overwhelming smell of the old forest. I looked outside, because, you know, everyone can piss off in this game, this one. One out of 10. Her name was Anya. We met a couple of weeks earlier on the orientation day. She was from Norway. So we'll be there. We were there to study. No. Anya was having second thoughts. Well, yeah, because we're going to be a bit of a nutter. Anya reached into her backpack and took out an apple. She turned away from me and bit into the fruit. I reached into my bag and fished out a head. A bunch of cabanossi, dried meaty sausages. Much better than the original Polish ones back from the US. Anya still looked like she regretted meeting me. People often did, actually. Girl, you're a lot to handle, she said after a lengthy silence. I'm not sure if I have the bandwidth for so much drama in my life. See if I could do the clicky. Oh, yeah, so. That. Be a terrifying were-sloth. Each full moon you wake up to find yourself 2 meters away from where you transformed. That's a good one. The man, one of the guys who came up. So you've got Jason Carl and Justin Achille. They did a lot of the World of Darkness stuff. I might have to. I might tweet them that and suggest that, because that could be quite funny as well. Oh dear. Terrifying were-sloth. Oh, a were-millipede. Sprouting all of those extra legs. Oh dear. Our summer language course starting in a few weeks, and I'd only managed to talk Anya into skipping the tours of the concentration camps and old churches and visiting Bjajovica. It took me ages to learn how to pronounce that. Remind me, why are we here again? She asked with her arms crossed. Good question. Why were we there? There being Białowice. Yeah, see? It was famous for its national park and the very last European bison. According to a quick web search, occasional tensions between far-right troublemakers and local Belarusian community. The most honest answer would have been, because I've been dreaming about the forest. But people didn't understand when I said things like that. I looked into her eyes. Ooh. Here we go. So, you occasionally plummet out of trees to your death. Yeah. Could be one of the werewolf's final forms. So I'll show you this. You've got your character sheet as well, which gives you a lot of your... tells you a lot of stuff. And it also gives you information about what people think of you and things. So this gets a lot bigger when things start to happen. So so she asks why we're here. So do you keep it simple so you don't freak her out? Tell her as much as you can, or do you tell her everything and really go for the I'm gonna freak the shit out of you? First answer wins. Oh, another sad pleb followed me. Oh, that's sweet. No? I'm just going to tell her everything and freak her out. Drop my will. There's always got to be one nutter on the bus. There we go. Let's go for it. Family is complicated. What does the little symbol mean? Might as well be me. It's always me. Always me. Which little symbol are you talking about? Oh, willpower. Ah, the fisty stuff. So yeah, willpower. I'm impaired, unable to perform hard mental and social actions. So I've always had these dreams where I'm in a forest and it speaks to me, I said hesitantly. I'm not sure why, but I feel like I'm supposed to be here. Only my grandfather understood the dreams. Respect the forest, he would say, and pay attention to your dreams. It was all I got from that part of the family before my mum took me, ran away and cut off all contact with my dad. I instantly regretted saying anything. I wait for her to respond. Yeah. Holy shit. When I played it through before, she was cautious about me. So, oh right, okay. So she's neutral because she's decided, yeah, you're batshit, and I'm gonna, and if you get too much, then I'm gonna go off over there, and you can go off over there, and I'll see you later. So I had a clear goal in mind. I wasn't there by mistake. I planned this trip for months. Ooh. I had to face the forest. Goal. Mystery. Learn about the forest. My dreams, my grandfather's stories, the fact that my family was from there. There were just too many coincidences. The forest wanted something from me, and it was time to find out what. Your wallet. No. I never was one to sit idly by as stupid things happened to me. As stupid things happen to me? As things happen to me. I'm making up my own... I'm making up as I go along. Fuck those damn trees. No, we're not going to do that. Welcome home. Your willpower dropped to 0. When you lose all health or willpower, you become impaired. This will make physical tasks, if you have 0 health, or social or mental tasks, if you have 0 willpower, harder and sometimes impossible. Białowice looked like an overexposed photo of a village with the contrast turned all the way up. The sun wasn't just shining, it was shouting at the earth. Damn you! And everything, the trees, the grass, the wooden houses, the fences, seemed weathered. Everything except the shadows, they were sharp as though they were freshly printed on the darkest of inks. With the darkest of inks. I can read, promise. For a second I could have sworn they'd moved, but when I realised it's just a black cat walking down the sidewalk, when it saw me it stopped in its tracks. I decided to ignore it. I watched it with suspicion. I tried to pet it. See, cats are evil. So let's watch it. Hey, do you think there are rabid cats? Because this one is acting weird. There are rabid squirrels, why not cats? She shrugged, looking around. Didn't you say your friend would be waiting for us? But he wasn't there, and the cat was staring at me. Let's go, Anya. Put on her backpack. I'm tired and I really, really need to find the toilet. Zero willpower, I didn't know what to do. I was too tired and distracted thinking my friend was nowhere in sight. I stormed off. Cats are dicks, but we can't help but love them. I don't. I'm allergic to them. Well, I'm slightly allergic to long-haired cats. They make me sneeze, and that could end up in death. So, you know. I hate when people are late, I muttered under my breath. I was walking fast, and it took a while for Anya to catch up with me. Oh, she got up with me. Yeah, we've each had a few hotels and hostels, but the preferred form of accommodation was B&B. That's what we say. I found that was nice, clean, and that had good reviews. Yeah, you can't beat a good old-fashioned Airbnb. It's not even old-fashioned, they're quite a new thing. We dropped off our stuff and freshened up a bit. Maybe you should have waited for your friend, Anya asked, concerned. I shrugged. I'll find him sooner or later. Check out your character sheet. Things may have changed. Let's see what's new. You understand what connects you. Yeah, but I had other things in mind. Right. So I could head into town, or I can go into the forest. What are we doing? Do 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 do. Town or forest? Kill all the trees. Right, forest. Excellent stuff. Achievement unlocked. Hiker. Oh, okay. Last time I did it, Anya wasn't with me. So this is, yeah, this is already very different. In the dark woods, dark, humid and chilly, the leaves didn't let through a lot of sunlight. Daniel looked at Anya and me over his shoulder. We'd met maybe 20 minutes earlier. Arne had Googled local guides, and he was apparently the best person to go if you wanted to see the forest. So I found him, and here we are. How do you like her? It was a strange one. Daniel is neutral. Fair. Is Anya basically just a picnic you brought with you? We can only hope. I was going to take it in a very different sort of route there, but I'm not going to do that. Because I'm a nice, innocent boy. Sometimes. Daniel was a strange guy, slender, but muscular. Not the CrossFit type, it was more the kind of strength you get from working all day long in the open. His skin was weather-beaten and bronzed by the sun, like tanned leather. Ooh, skin him and make him into a jacket. No. But his fingers were slim and delicate, and his eyes were the strangest shade of yellow-green. So, he repeated, how do you like her? I wasn't sure who he meant. Do you mean the forest? Polish was a strange language that gave the most unexpected genders to objects and ideas. I mean puszka. He gestured around us. The word sounded like the wind rustling in the leaves. Puszka. Puszka is the right word, not forest. Forests are like fields or orchards, cultivated. He spat as he said it. And Puszka, she is older than even the concept of fields. He was using the word as though it was a name. Because it might be a name. I stood there and watched the forest. I looked at the Puszka again. I felt as though I'd entered an ancient battleground. Gigantic trees were locked in a century-long war for a place in the sun, as the trunks of fallen foes decomposed slowly at their feet. Young plants and colourful mushrooms were fighting their own battles over the rotting remains of trees that still lived, stretched towards the sky like columns holding up the vaulted canopy which blocked out all but a few rays of sunlight. Something moved in the leaves. I fought the urge to chase it. I loved what I saw. It was alien. There was something unsettling about it all. Hmm. So werewolves love nature. They are part of it, and all of that. So I think saying that one is going to be the best thing to do. Daniel was sympathetic. There should be more places like this, I said earnestly, or more of this place. Daniel lifted his head and looked me right in the eyes. Yes, you're right, he said with a serious expression. And I remembered why I was there. I was cautious when I asked my questions. Yes, because he is a strange one. You look like you know all the local legends and folktales, I said. I didn't elaborate why. I was interested in the topic. Daniel stopped abruptly and turned to me, watching me for a while. His nostrils flared as though he was tasting the air. Weirdo. I don't share them with strangers, he said, and then hesitated, but for some reason Pushka doesn't think you're a stranger. Come on. He started walking. I know exactly what you need to see. Ugh. Oh God, I've really got to stop taking the piss. So I was right. There was something hidden in my family's past, and it seemed to have a lot to do with the forest. Every time you learn or do something significant that brings you closer to your goal, you regain willpower. With every step, I was getting closer to solving the mystery. So I followed him. Do, 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 do. Okay. A place of power. Old stories, families divided. The wolves' den or the barrows. Ancient graves, buried secrets. Wait, it's possible to stop taking the piss out of things. I don't know. I haven't got there yet. Um, it's a trait. Old stories. We started walking, but after a few steps, he stopped abruptly, like he'd remembered something. Oh, shit! I left the oven on. Could you do me a favour, please? He asked. Why should I? It depended. Sure. Okay, let's be a dick. Why? You haven't given me a reason to blindly trust you, I scoffed. He ran his hand through the moss on a dead tree trunk, smelled his fingers, and then reached into his pocket. He took out a small stone. Too small to be a weapon. Something personal? It was just a stone. Too small to be a weapon. Although the brown spots on its surface looked like dried blood. Do. I would like you to take this stone, he held out open hand towards it, and throw it in the direction you think we should go. What? Why? Wasn't convinced. Something I need. Can you do it, please? He was intense. Tempted to just turn to go fuck himself. Fine. Sure. Okay, I took the stone and closed my hand around it. Be careful, whispered Anya. It was just a stone. Cold and rugged, it felt like just any other stone. Yeet the stone, then him. I thought about a wolf den, trying to imagine that place. Probably a hole in the ground, long forgotten and dead, like most of the forest. I threw the stone. I felt my hand rising entirely on its own, and then throwing the stone as far as I could. In his face. It was a good throw. The stone flew in a long arc over the bushes and disappeared without a trace in the dense undergrowth. Great, Daniel sighed. I was asking for that, wasn't I? What was the purpose of this? What was that for? I demanded. To introduce you, he answered with a faint smile before he turned to head deeper into the forest. The first thing I noticed when we stopped was a point. Oh, so one thing I am gonna show you here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll have to move me. Is Who throws a shoe? I don't know if you can see, but it's that stood on a wolf's face. So this is what I mean about the art style. It's just incredible. I'll go back over here now. Right. First thing I noticed when we stopped was a pine tree. A pine tree I knew. I remembered it. Small, twisted, crooked, and immensely powerful. That isn't a euphemism. Mrs. Stug approves of the art in this. That's awesome. It is incredible. And there's what's the name of the comic or graphic novel? Sandman, I believe. The artist who did that, they took a lot of inspiration from that work as well. It is truly incredible. So, where was I? Blah, blah, blah. It's majestic, I thought suddenly. Months before that, when I decided to come to Poland, I dreamed of that tree. I was sure of it. Just like I was sure that under its roots I'd find a burrow and a few feet away another one, like two dark eyes gazing at me as I approached. Daniel passed me and approached the tree. He pressed his cheek against the trunk. "Hello," he said quietly. I said nothing. Was there someone else there? Or do you say hello yourself and be the nutter? Are we going to carry on with the nutter approach? I like to think so. I have all the Sandman graphic novels. Great series. Neil Gaiman's best work by far. It won't be... there is one thing, there's a picture that definitely comes to mind that you'll look at and go, oh yeah, that's it. Go full crazy. Yeah, so I've just said hello to the trees. Pushka is friendly. This is the den, announced Daniel. It's abandoned, of course, but still worth seeing. Didn't look very impressive. Oh, I've got Britney Spears going around my head now. Crazy. Oh man, I'm just showing my age. Britney Spears. Sorry. He stopped stuttering and seemed to enjoy telling a story. Why is it worth seeing? Blah, blah, blah. Because of the story. He sat under the tree, leaning back against it. It was a hot spring morning when they found this den. No one knows who the men were, even though it was only one human generation ago. I felt weird. But the friend is still there. Anya is still there as well. So that didn't happen. So this is already different from the other times I've played. I don't think they wanted to hurt the wolves. Oh yeah, because they nicked some wolf cubs. They probably thought they'd been abandoned. That's why they took the cubs without them. Humans have the instinct that makes you try to befriend everything, especially if it's dangerous. Not befriend. Enslave. You mean enslave, I answered sharply, pulling something from the world and forcing it to work for us. I hated it, but it was how we seemed to be. I'm not saying it always works out, but the intention is good, and I believe the men who kidnapped the wolves wanted to do something kind. He continued. Anyway, they took them. Out of the 6, 2 lived to see the cold summer that year. The wolf mother used to come to the farm that they were at and howl. People went grey if they heard her. I knew that howl. And suddenly I heard that howl. I knew exactly how it sounded, and I felt despair and longing gnawing at my soul. I remembered how the cubs had reacted. They threw themselves at the door. They howled in response. They snarled at people. Well, I'll wait for chat on this one. Throw themselves at a door. The cubs. That was a peculiar howl. I want my... That's me thinking, unfortunately. I make strange sounds when I think. Yeet the cubs. They threw themselves at the door. Ooh woo. Helen just went ooh woo. I'm disappointed now. Every time she came, we threw ourselves at the door, biting, trying to break free to escape. Maya, are you okay? Anya asked, putting a hand on my shoulder. I punched her in the face. Oh, it was nothing. I liked how he told the story. I felt for the cubs. I felt for the cubs. I just feel for the cubs. I know a little about divided families myself. Oh, yeah, that usually ended the conversation. Daniel sighed, looking at the trees and the burrow. The cubs that the survivor sold to some people in Kenufka. But after a while, both of them ended up back in Białowice with the scientists. They have a station in the national park. One of the wolves, Kazan, was a celebrity of sorts. If you saw any wolf photos from here, they were probably of Kazan. He was even on postcards. I hoped he'd eaten someone. Oh, Daniel's neutral. He didn't like that. He doesn't like angry things. Daniel looked at me scornfully. The scientists never hurt him. Nobody wanted to hurt him. Even the men who took the cubs. There was a slight gust of wind and the tree creaked. I remembered that sound from my dreams as well. A sound that made me feel safe. Nom. Oh, we could... No, see, that would have been good. I looked at the empty den. Will the wolves come back here? No, they won't. This place is cursed for them. We fell silent. He looked at the burrows for a long time. This place is my friend, so I tried to keep it important and respected. I think it's my mission, you know? I could relate to that. This guy was super weird. Yeah. Why not both? Yeah, but he is weird. Super weird. Okay. Yeah. Daniel looked at the tree one last time. I also said bye. Pushka is loyal to me. And we left. So, we've done the Wolves' Den. So we've got Ancient Graves, Buried Secrets, or the Place of Power, the Magic Tourist Trap place. Magic. With all the seas. It's not thick. Okay, Magic Tourist Trap. Beacon. It started with a hair on the back of my hands rising. The air around me seemed brighter, lighter. The leaves on the tree trunks turned yellow and my skin started to prickle. I realised that I couldn't hear anything except for a low buzzing that was filling my ears. I was hot. My bones were vibrating, full of energy I couldn't contain. I had to do something. Oh lordy, is she thick. No. I lashed out on the nearest tree trunk. Not knowing what to do with the energy, I kicked the nearest tree trunk. Look out, Anya screamed. There was a cloud of dust and rot and the buzzing grew louder. I felt a sting and then another, and oh god. Punch tree, get wood. Well, this didn't happen last time. So we've been stung a bit. How do you fight a hive? You don't. You just hope you can outrun it. So I ran and I hoped. And then there was an opening and light, real light, not the yellow buzzing, and I felt everything become still. The clearing was a plateau between huge boulders. There were double trunk trees between the rocks and an angular wooden construction that stuck out of the ground like a sore thumb. There was a bike leaning on it, but more importantly, there was a man. and he was moving in the most beautiful, harmonious way I'd ever seen. It was hypnotizing. Plot twist, it's all secretly Minecraft. Oh, Stug. I couldn't stop looking at the way he moved, the way his muscles danced under his tan skin. The man knew his body. He knew how to use it. It was his tool, his weapon. The wasps that were flying after me stopped in midair, forming a ball. The man slowly moved his hand forward like he was gently pushing them away. The hive turned around and left the clearing. The words came out of my mouth seemingly without my knowing. What was wrong with this place? I shouted, frustrated. He stopped and looked at me. It's in pain, he said. Go down to the woods and ogle strange men. Seems sensible. Oh dear. He stretched his hand towards me. I'm Cornell, he said with a hard German accent. Shouldn't you be on the logging site? Daniel asked after I introduced myself. I needed to centre myself, he answered. The others are still there, don't worry. Excuse me. They were cutting down trees in the forest. Centre himself. Here. Oh, see. Oh, smooth my... Don't know how well you can see that. There's a nice picture of the Wolfie there. Sorry, Steve. I think that was said with a hard German accent. We're waiting. You're going to be waiting for a really long time on that front. Sorry, because I'm not doing it. They were cutting down trees in this forest. Wait, logging here. He smiled bitterly. Yes, logging here. That's why I needed to calm down. This place is special, Daniel said. Some people call it a place of power, as I told you. And they have good reason to, Cornell added. Look around you. So I looked. It was a clearing filled with light. I could see Cornell's traces, a beautiful pattern on the ground. But there was one thing that caught my attention more than anything else. The boulders were strange, because things... which upon closer inspection formed a circle. The stones were irregular and nestled deep in the ground. People believed this was a place of worship thousands of years ago, hence the fruit trees. The stone circle and that... Oh my god, so sorry. And indeed, there's lots of energy in this place. You felt it, didn't you? Still no hard German accent. We will settle for Austrian. I nearly did it there, but I'm not doing accents. I'm sorry. It's not happening. People believe this was a place of worship thousands of years ago, hence the fruit trees, the stone circle, and now the tower. And indeed, there's a lot of energy in this place. You felt it, didn't you? Very hard to make it not camp. Oh, what? The accents. Yeah. Cornell is neutral. Yeah, I felt it. I said without enthusiasm. The pushka is wounded and in pain, and it calls out in rage to anyone who can hear it. Here the call is louder. You see, the logging is slaughter. Anya gasped quietly. That wasn't quietly. That was... Every priceless thing can be destroyed by greed. Logging is illegal, of course, but illegal is sometimes just a way of saying a bit more expensive, but still profitable. Especially for a huge corporation. The forest is hurt, the wound is getting bigger, as is its desperation. Why doesn't anyone blow this shit up? So I think last time I played, by the time I got to this point, my bravery was at like 3, and it's at the moment at 7. Nuke that shit. Definitely. Cornell regarded me for a moment with a faint smile. You have a connection with this forest, don't you? You should come to the logging site and meet everyone. Absolutely, Anya said eagerly. Randy little bitch. I became suspicious. Some half-naked stranger is asking two young ladies to go to a logging site. Cornell is cautious. Did he know something? See, the thing is, I already know everything that's going on. So I know who people are and what's happening and stuff like that. So it's quite fun to just pretend that I don't. Plenty of wood. Did he know something? About me, about my family, about my dreams? This guy was acting like he wanted to draw me into a cult. Yeah, we'll see about that, I said, shrugging. He also shrugged. I didn't take you for the indifferent type. Guess I was wrong, but you can't escape your destiny. He jumped suddenly and looked at the wooden tower and the bike I'd noticed earlier. Die Schwalbe is getting restless, he said. And as Daniel pointed out, I should be on the logging site, setting up the protest. What is a Schwalbe? I asked, confused. He named his bike Swallow. Daniel explained. He loves it very much. Cornell grinned. He explained he loves it very much. Oh, I do. Nice meeting you, Maya. All I wanted to do was make like a tree and get the fuck out of there. Straight faces, people. Oh dear. The moment he disappeared, the buzzing came back. It wasn't as strong as 4, but it was there. All I wanted to do was get out of there. So, we have to go to the Barrows now. Swallow. The trail soon disappeared. Sometimes we walked along a barely visible path made by some animals. Sometimes we followed a stream or a gully, but for most of our trek, we walked through the dense undergrowth. I was getting impatient. The sun was barely noticeable through the dense canopy. I had no idea which direction we were going, and I started to doubt if Daniel did. It was a pleasant walk. There was always a path through the brambles. The ground was even, and the branches stayed out of our way. I almost felt like the forest wanted us to find a way. I stubbornly pushed on, because I'm an angry little bitch. Oh dear. I settled into a steady rhythm and suddenly pushed on, focused on my goal. I fixed my eyes on Daniel's back and slowly zoned out. Which was not very smart. I came to my senses when I tripped and almost fell. Watch where I place my feet and follow me, advised Daniel. We continued in silence. We'd been walking for a while when I noticed Daniel's steps had become slower. He was also looking around more often and he had hunched slightly. Fuck. We were lost. Motherfucker. Don't tell me we were lost, I growled. He looked at me, hurt. They're tricky to find sometimes, he mumbled. Be quiet for a minute, please. And that's when I felt it. Look at this wood. Ooh. Ash in my mouth, the smell of smoke and wet soil. And a pull. I hushed him. No, you shut up, I said, and focused and tense. He tilted his head, puzzled. He didn't answer, instead watching me in silence. It would be a bit weird. It's just... I showed him the right direction. I yeeted him. Something wants me to go there. I pointed to my left. Under a dying tree, he looked at me for another long moment. You don't know the way. I ignored him and started walking. Motherfucker. He followed me and I followed my feet, knowing exactly where they should go. Under the crooked tree, past the dead tree trunk and the sponge-like mushrooms. Across the patch of wet, dark green moss, all the way to the place that didn't look much different than the other parts of the forest, until you noticed the mounds. There was something about the flattened hill that drew my full attention. Oh dear. Must resist. Ooh ooh. So it looked at the flattened hill. Well, that must have been bigger in the past. I can imagine them vividly when they were built. The tall, proud barrows, the dead decomposing underground returning to the earth, feeding all the new life that was growing from them. The trees around us that were the fingers of the dead sticking out of the ground. And then it happened. It was a feeling anchored in my chest, akin to the taste of ash in my mouth and the smell of smoke. Longing, sadness, resignation. But there was more. There's always more. A sense of sadness, it filled me with a calm excitement. And when I closed my eyes, I saw a fire burning in the darkness. Voices. Brave. The village was burning and dead bodies were scattered among the flaming buildings. My hands were dripping with blood. The dying crawled towards me, some in ancient Roman armour, some in rags, some in uniform from the World Wars, some in modern camo. Why? They asked, spitting blood and broken teeth. Why do you keep killing us? Ooh, that was who I was. When I opened my eyes, Daniel was watching me. You were somewhere else, he said. You said you had family here. I nodded. Yeah, I'm here. They owe me money. I heard that my father's family came from here. I don't know much about them, though. I don't think you should be here, he said tersely. You're not ready. He knew something. Have you? Why, what do you know? I wasn't letting it go. About you? Not much. But I know the Pushka. The past is close here. His eyes were worried as he looked at me, as if the Pushka calls to you. It's wise to listen, but it's not wise to get lost in the voices come. On the way back, I was lost in my thoughts. The voices in the vision knew what I had to do. It's almost as though it was expected of me. Is this what the forest wanted from me? Dun dun dun. Daniel said that the Pushka called me. Was the vision showing me what the forest needed? I accepted that thought. The forest showed me visions of blood and fire. Yeah. The walk back was uneventful. I felt a little tired. The shadows of the enormous trees cooled the sweat on my skin. The taste of ash lingered in my mouth. I really should stop eating cigarettes. We made our way back. As we walked through town, Anya nudged me and pointed at a tall, broad-shouldered, freckled guy standing at the bus stop with a lost expression on his face. I remembered his face from the pictures on social media. It was the friend who'd stood me up earlier. Let's just nut him. Ugh. Get over there and just... yeah. Oh, Bartek. Bartek, I snapped, irritated. You stood me up, motherfucker! Not cool. Maya, what are you doing here? He blurted with surprise when he saw me. I was sure you missed the bus. We started walking and talking. His accent was broad and East European. Ah. Pod shot. Yeah. With an axe. I flooded him with questions. Anya liked him. I caught him looking at me. Accent. The people demanded it. The people demand it. Well, there's only 5 people in chat, and only 2 people have said they want an accent. So, just throwing that one out there. Flooded him with questions. Anya liked him. If Anya likes him, then I don't have to do anything like that with him. Because that's just weird. I do love this artwork. Anya liked him. Anya took an immediate liking to him. I could tell. Technically, there's 2 watching here, plus Doggo. So 5. Well, when your dog is able to type in that they want me to do an accent, then we'll consider it. We walked along the only street in the village, nearing the centre, if you could call it that. Every house had a garden and the air was dense with the fragrance of flowers. It's like similar to Gosport, but also really different to Gosport. Because Gosport has one road going through it, but there would be no gardens and the smell definitely wouldn't be of flowers. I took a deep breath. So, did you find anything linking me to the forest? I asked. Bartek shook his head. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Sorry, he was avoiding my eyes. A trickle of sweat ran down his temple. He was lying straight to my face. What the fuck, man? I threw my arms in the air. You wrote to me a few days ago that you had something, but you just clammed up. You know what? I think you should drop it. I stopped. This was the final straw. I knew Gosport would finally make it into a video game. Well, this is the polar opposite of Gosport. So, apart from the one road thing, that's the only thing they have similar. I turned to Bartek, grabbed his shirt and pushed him hard against the fence. I'd always been strong and anger made me even stronger. His feet lost contact with the ground. I heard Anya gasp. I screamed in his face. I travelled 300 miles in a fucking bus without fucking AC, I said. A few flecks of spit hitting his chin. I did it because you said you'd found something. My arms got tired and I dropped him. I politely asked again. City of Culture 2020. Bartek is unfriendly. Don't care. So I got on well with Bartek in the other ones I've done. So this one, yeah, quite happy for him to piss off. So would you kindly tell me what you found? Bartek scrambled to his feet, pale and terrified. Well, he brushed his forehead with the back of his hand. I did ask. I started with the old people here. I told them that my friend from the States was looking for her roots and wanted to know about the place her family came from. You know the drill. At first people were very, receptive. I waited for the other shoe to drop. And then I mentioned your name. He shook his head. I urged him to continue. Bartek, no dramatic pauses, please, I urged him. The tension is killing me. One of the old men here told me to go to hell. The other spat on the ground and his wife crossed herself. For a moment he looked younger and smaller, and then my own grandmother told me to stop asking. She said something else as well. COVID, where's your mask? She told me to pray for you. Suddenly the sweet golden afternoon wasn't so sweet and golden anymore. I was furious. I felt anger boiling somewhere deep in my heart. How dare they? I didn't need their prayers. We walked in silence. but my mind was in overdrive. People didn't want to talk, and that could only mean one thing. I was on the right track. My pulse quickened and I tensed up like a hound that smelled blood. I needed to gather my thoughts. To the pub! Oh, I really want a beer now. Oh. It was a long day, a lot had happened, and I was really tired. It was good to meet you in person, I said, but I need to be going. All this travelling and walking through the forest. It was exhausting. Oh, hiccups now. It was exhausting, I smiled. Sure. Where are you staying? Turned out we were going the same way, of course. We went back to the B&B. The B&B was quaint. I left Anya and Bartek outside. They were lost in a conversation and didn't even notice that I was gone. When I got out of the shower, Anya was back, smiling and a little flustered. Oh, that's fine. What a day, she was. So what do you think? I made a quick mental inventory of everything that had happened that day. They were cutting down the forest. Places of power sure made an impression. Daniel was a strange guy. I was moved by the story of the wolves. I was freaked out by the vision at the barrows. They were cutting down the mother humping forest. Can't believe they're logging here. I shook my head. Isn't the forest on a UNESCO list or something? Yeah, I know. I want to check out this protest people were talking about. Maybe we could go there tomorrow. Oh, we've got to go through them all. I felt this strange energy in the place of power before we met Cornell. It still freaks me out. Cornell seemed cool though, Anya answered, and he seemed to really understand what you're going through. Yeah, didn't feel like talking anymore. You know what? I'm seriously tired. Let's call it a day, shall we? Soon we were both in our beds, ready to sleep. I was tired, sure, but also excited, and excitement isn't the best for sleep. I lay there for a while thinking about everything that had happened and that might happen next. The wind from the open window lapped over my skin as I watched the silver rectangle painted on the wall by the moonlight. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the tangled branches, the stone Daniel asked me to throw, the leaves. I came here with one question, and now I had so many. I felt I was getting closer to my answers. Hint, I should go and see the logging protest. Probably. I felt the answers were within my reach. I should go and see the logging protest, find Cornell and make him talk. After a long while, all these thoughts became blurry. They slowly started to turn into pictures, sounds, and colours. I drifted off. Ooh. Another dream. In a big city, old men sit in leather chairs, lazily enjoying their ever-growing wealth. They watch Białowieża on flickering screens. They watch me. I feel the excitement rising deep within my stomach, then throughout my whole body. I am a weapon. I am a razor-sharp knife. I am a sword. I am a gun, waiting to be fired. I'm asleep for now, but soon someone will use me, and I can't wait. I feel a pull. I feel a pull and I surrender to it. I am pointed toward a clearing. There are piles of fresh corpses of people who died too young, skinned and mutilated. Their loved ones stand around them, grieving, unable to do anything, waiting, and suddenly they are just trees and tree trunks. I roar, I howl, I look around. Yay! I've maxed out brave. I can't be any braver. Ooh. There is a stench in the air like meat rotting in acid, but somehow worse. I see the monstrous army. Their mandibles are whirling chainsaws. Their long arms are wrapped with black pipes that look like glistening intestines. Their smell is vile. They wait, unmoving. I charge at them. I turn to the forest for answers. I pay my respects to the dead. No, let's kill things. I try to breathe through my mouth as I run towards the machines. I hit and kick them blindly, screaming at the top of my lungs, and in my own screams I hear strange whispers. They tell me to look to the sky. There, between the stars, two shapes circle each other, an old, sad wolf with grey hair and a white weasel. They keep their eyes on one another as they continue their dance, suspicious but not hostile. We need to fight the enemy, the awful, rotting stench. I know that much. See, there's a full stop there, so... Aru. But how can we do that when we don't trust each other? They stop, they look at me, and the clearing. Ooh, brave. I challenge them. Come here and face me. Once again, I don't recognise the words, but I understand. They come down to me in their voices of the Krushka. We've been calling you, and you finally came. I wake up. The sheets are a mess. Ah. Chapter 2. Logging. It's going to be about having a big poo. So, I think the first chapter, so that's done. So I think we'll leave it. We'll do a chapter at a time. Don't have huge numbers for this, but I really don't care. I am just enjoying playing this. So, I'll end it there, I think. I hope everyone who's watched has enjoyed it. It seems like great fun. It really is. It really, really is. I'm playing the dick in this game at the moment, obviously. So yeah, it's quite more fun. It's a bit more fun than I had doing the other ones, but it's fun in different ways. So we will carry on with this. I will be picking it up myself, I'm sure. So yeah, so we'll keep on going, and yeah, I think I'm going to play this all the way through. So I'll have 2 playthroughs of this game now, played in very, very different ways. Don't care about numbers for this game. I'm enjoying it, and that's what matters, isn't it? Having fun. So yeah, so I'll end it there, and I'll see you all next time, and find all the innuendos. Oh my god, don't. I wasn't expecting any of that, and that was a shock even for me. But yeah, can always rely on Hefty Fam for that one. So yeah, great fun. So thanks for coming, thanks for watching, thanks for following, thanks for everything, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye bye.